Alright, what up, YouTube? I was gonna record a reaction to this, but fuck it, why not? So yeah, alright, let's go. Um, Never Let the Fans Cook. He had his fans pitch ideas for No Way Home. I mean, for Brand New Day, and now he's doing them on camera and reacting to it. So let's see. Well, I already watched the first 2 minutes of it, but barely started.
Is surrounding a female villain and Scorpion and like a bunch of minor villains. So I don't think Mr. Negative will appear in this film eventually, unless they've kept it under wraps really well. I don't think Mr. Negative is gonna appear, but I do have a feeling that some sort of villain, whatever the main villain is, will corrupt Hulk, and then Hulk will become Savage Hulk again. And like I said in my discussion channel, it will be great to see Spider-Man try stopping an angry Hulk rampage throughout New York City, because Hulk rampaging throughout New York City is something we haven't seen in the MCU, I think. I guess like the
No, the Avengers and Incredible Hulk.
Avengers final fight counts, but you know what I mean. Listen, this might be the only long comment. Hulk rampaging throughout New York City is something we haven't seen in the MCU, I think. I guess like the Avengers final fight counts, but you know what I mean. Listen, this might be the only long comment I'm gonna do.
What is he calling trash? What's trash? What is he calling trash?
At B.F-09 says, here is a very bad rough concept for Brand New Day. It would be an honor to be featured in a vid. I can just tell by this incoming paragraph this is gonna be long as shit. And yeah, by saying that it's a very bad concept, okay, it's not gonna lower my expectations. I'm still gonna have the same expectations, so if it's shit, I'm gonna say it's shit. Remember,
Alright, dude,
this
so
is rough, so like, this ain't how I wanted to like go, just the main story element.
Hold up. Here is a very bad rough concept for Brand New Day. It would be an honor to be featured in a vid. Remember, this is rough. So like, this ain't how I wanted to like act. Wait, now I see why he's fucking up. Remember, this is rough. So like, this ain't how I wanted to like act. Go just the main story elements. Also no Punisher. Also the cameos at the end are dumb. I know, but just let me have this. Thanks, Andy. I love you so much. Yeah. Oh, I haven't seen that word in a long time.
Also, no Punisher. What the no Punisher, alright? Also, the cameos at the end are dumb. I know, just let me have.
What? What?
This. Thanks, Andy. I love you so much. I love your video. I watched him during class. Dude, you're a kid. You're in class. I have a 60 in math. I'm assuming you're American, so I'm assuming that's pretty bad. But it's worth it, thanks. By the way, I know it looks long, but that's just because R word, so it's not af long. You know what? For the plot, pun unintended, let's read this. Peter is living in New York and he volunteers at Feast to keep May's legacy alive. I assume he meant alive.
Oh.
But then volunteers at Feast to keep May's legacy alive. I assume he meant alive. But then Feast gets a new manager, Martin Lee. Peter volunteers with a girl named Angelica, Sadie Sink. Peter finds some shady stuff out about Martin and confides in Angelica. We learn that Martin was involved in a Starkland experiment. I don't know what Starkland is, but when he was in his 20s with gamma radiation that failed. Martin finds them snooping and threatens them. Peter thinks something is off, so he stops by his resident gamma expert, Bruce Banner. Bruce doesn't know Peter, but knows Spider-Man. Spider-Man is questioning him about a Stark Labs gamma experiment from 15 to 20 years ago involving Martin Lee. Bruce lets him that I'm assuming, Jesus Christ, this comment is edited, but I don't think he edited anything. Bruce lets him, I assume, know that he can confide in him, but that experiment went terribly wrong and that Martin got infused with gamma, almost killing him. Only Bruce was able to save him. He was kinda of split in half and never the—
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm already checked out from this fucking what?
The same. Peter and Angelica snoop him and find an underground lab where I assume they are attacked by Martin's goons, and Angelica is hit by some of their negative energy affecting her. Me negative! appears for the first time, and Peter has no choice but to show to Angelica that he is Spider-Man. Martin doesn't know though.
I'm
they
lost.
go back to
YouTube,
Peter's where
watching,
they talk,
keep listening.
but attacked again. Lee finds out Peter is Spider-Man. Just as they're about to die, Angelica's negative energy from Early explodes her, turning her into Firestorm. The DC character Firestorm. I assume you mean what's her name from Spider-Man and the Amazing Friends. Name's not Firestorm, I know that. Firestar, not Firestorm.
Firestar is the start.
Okay? Firestorm is a very different character. I'll be very surprised if Sadie Sink transforms into Firestorm. They fly away to Bruce, but their safety is short-lived as Lee arrives and uses his negative energy to make Hulk savage again. Peter fights Lee and Firestorm fights Hulk. Peter defeats I assume Lee, but Hulk is too powerful and Peter has no choice but to let Lee go and fight Hulk. Just then though, help arrives. The new Avengers arrive and fight Lee and Hulk and save everyone. Wow, that's really what we want to hear at the end of a tumultuous adventure with a protagonist that fights people. They just get saved by a bunch of people that won in the rest of the movie. Sounds great. They take Peter and Firestorm. Dude, Firestorm's tripping me out. They take Peter and Firestorm back to the Watchtower where they initiated them into the new Avengers, where Peter quips he hasn't been an Avenger in a while. Haha, get it? The movie ends with Peter on a rooftop as Daredevil arrives. Oh my god, Daredevil! And like, I don't know, Defenders and this shit like that. I'm not a script writer in a kid who just got out of school and doesn't have the mental capacity to think of a good movie. And yet, you did edit this comment and yeah, no excuses, sorry man. You chose to submit that, I'm featuring that in the fucking video. If we got this movie, I would be very confused. Martin Lee corrupting Hulk into Savage Hulk, again, everyone's saying that, but again, I don't think Martin Lee is gonna be in this movie. The Firestorm side character is pretty cool, I must say. Spider-Man and Firestorm, unexpected crossover. Yeah, the new Avengers are swooping in and just saving Spider-Man. Nice. I guess Tom Holland Spider-Man will never escape the can't do anything on his own accusations. At SoNSoap896 says, I really like to see Peter being extra friendly neighborhood. Maybe as a subplot he helps a struggling kid out with his homework or something, only for that kid to get wrapped up in the overarching plot for whatever reason. We did have a little bit of
I'd really like to see Peter being extra friendly neighborhood. Maybe as a sub. Yo! I'd really like to see Peter being extra friendly neighborhood. Maybe as a subplot, he helps a struggling kid out with his homework or something, only for that kid to get wrapped up in the overarching plot for whatever reason. This sounds dumb, but that sounds very specific.
For that kid to get wrapped up in the overarching plot for whatever reason. We did have a little bit of that in Amazing Spider-Man 2, didn't we? With the kid with the fucking science project or whatever who like dresses up as Spider-Man. I think that'd be cute. I probably wouldn't want that kid wrapped up in the overarching plot because people usually hate kids in superhero movies, especially if they don't have any powers. They just end up being annoying. At the Pug Talani's 4833 says, a recreation of the comic cover of Punisher's first appearance from the Amazing Spider-Man 129. I think it would be a bit hard to do that considering the composition of that cover, but if we see Spider-Man in that exact fucking pose in like a sniper scope, that would be cool. I agree. That would be a pretty...
Right? Like Frank Punisher, he's like on a rooftop and the angle is this, feel me? And then it cuts to his scope looking at Spider-Man and we see like Spider-Man like falling down from a building and he falls and like in 2 frames he's in that position. You know what I'm trying to say? That would be awesome. That would be an awesome way to recreate that this cover. What? Literally just have one shot of Frank aiming his sniper in that shot from the comic book and have a scene like right after that it switches right to his scope and you see him following Spider-Man as he falls down and then like I said, in 1 frames he hits that pose because he's falling down. I'm trying to say, and if you pause it at the same exact moment and you put those shots side by side, it makes the cover. That would be dope. That would be dope.
Fucking pose in like a sniper scope. That would be cool. I agree. That would be a pretty sick reference. At hello_21712 says, have Punisher be the main villain who's going around killing all villains. We can have some lower level villains in there like Beetle or Vermin, and Scorpion is paid by Tombstone to kill the Hulk, but instead he brings out the old Savage Hulk. This leads into the two plots converging and Punisher going after Scorpion and Hulk with Spider-Man trying to stop Punisher. In short, Punisher wants Scorpion and Hulk wants Punisher, Spider-Man wants everyone to calm down. Okay, so Punisher is going around killing villains. First of all, if Beetle makes an appearance, I do not want him to be killed off, alright? Or her to be killed off. And Scorpion is paid by Tombstone to kill the Hulk? Why? That's so random.
Yeah, why?
And how would that bring out old Savage Hulk? Wouldn't he just turn back into Nerdy Hulk? I don't think Nerdy Hulk could be killed by a bullet. Punisher.
If anybody's gonna be hiring, if J. Jonah Jameson is gonna be hiring anybody, it's to take down Spider-Man. I mean, to take down anybody at that, it's gonna be Scorpion, yeah, but it's gonna be Spider-Man. And that's what he does in the comic books, in the comics. Literally, J. Jonah Jameson like hires Scorpion to take down Spider-Man, and while doing and with doing that, he pays for an experiment for Matt Gargan to go through in order to have like the abilities to be able to go up against Spider-Man, and he gets stuck in the Scorpion suit or he turns into Scorpion, some shit like that. That'll be fine because that'll be just like the comic book. So yeah, if Jay Jonas hiring anybody, it's gonna be to take anybody down. It should be Matt Gargan. Because come on, that's a layup right there for the comic books. It's literally in the comic books.
Going after Scorpion and Hulk. Okay, listen. What the fuck is Punisher gonna do with Scorpion and Hulk? I mean, we don't know how powerful the Scorpion's gonna be, but if he has like a bulletproof armor that he can't take off, I don't think bullets are gonna do much. And Punisher against Hulk, I'm pretty sure this might happen in the movie, but I'm just thinking, what the fuck is he gonna do? He's gonna get trampled. Spider-Man wants everyone to calm down. I kind of...
Frank is not going to be fighting probably to kill him. He's going to be fighting to survive. I'm trying to say. So if people are like, oh, the Punisher versus Hulk, the Hulk, that makes no sense, dude. The movie's not going to be about them two fighting and who wins and who's stronger. No, the movie I'm pretty sure is going to be the Hulk going not literally up against the Hulk. It's going to seem like that, but it's not that. It's going to be for survival, so he can survive. I'm trying to say. Because he knows he's not going to save the Hulk, so he's going to do what he can to survive.
Don't really like that because it kind of makes him an inactive protagonist. It feels like he's just there. We want him to make decisions, you know. At Dylan Santana-P3H says, okay, so basically Spider-Man will battle Mr. Negative, is Mr. Negative again, and he will make the Hulk savage. There will be a bounty on the Hulk made by Fisk, and he will send Scorpion and Tombstone and others to hunt him down and the Punisher.
No, I don't think nothing about Fisk is gonna come up. Probably Daredevil or some shit, but I don't know Fisk.
Would hunt him. End credit scene, Spider-Man swings through New York where he sees a spacecraft coming to Earth, so he follows it and stops it from causing a big explosion, where then the Thunderbolts appear and Ghost and Spider-Man go into the crashed spaceship and find a beat up Tony Stark with a green cape, as Peter says, Mr. Stark? Let's break down the first bit first. So Fisk appearing, I don't think Kingpin's gonna appear in this movie because of rights stuff, because I think Disney only has rights to his television appearances, like the Fisk interpretation
that's
with Vincent D'Onofrio. I believe it's currently limited to television unless they work something out with Sony. He will send Scorpion and Tombstone.
So dumb.
Is Tombstone a hired gun? I thought like Tombstone was gonna be part of like this opening compilation where Spider-Man just takes out a bunch of villains. Maybe I'm wrong.
I hope Tombstone was not a part of that montage. Like, Tombstone is like kind of up there with Fisk. I'm trying to say like he's a prime. How you call that? He's a criminal. He's a big time criminal as well. Like he's a career criminal. I'm trying to say so. Like, you better not be in that montage. Hell no.
Hunt him. Why is Punisher hunting Spider-Man? I feel like Spider-Man isn't evil enough for Punisher to just randomly go after him? Listen, lots of questions. I did ask for like a basic plot ideas and stuff. I guess I get what I asked for. Okay, let's talk about this end credits scene. He follows it and stops the rocket, the spacecraft from causing a huge explosion somehow. I'm assuming solo, so he's like fucking webbing shit up. You know when he catches that helicopter in Spider-Man PS4? I'm assuming something like that, but a spacecraft is a lot bigger. And people really want Thunderbolts to appear with Spider-Man for some reason. They find a beat up Tony Stark with the green cape, and as Peter says, Mr. Stark? Oh my god, get it? Cause it's Robert Downey Jr. playing Doctor Doom. Ah! Okay, I feel like this would be crazy if we didn't know that Robert Downey Jr. was playing Doctor Doom. Like, if they kept that under wraps somehow, I'm not saying that they could have because, you know, leaks and stuff. It's exactly what I would expect from a fan writing a potential end credit scene for this movie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
By the way, it might seem like I don't like Dude. Now, I watch Dude a lot. You know what I'm trying to say? So yeah, don't get it twisted. I'm trying to say I'm not gonna agree with everything he says or his takes. But like most of the time, I fuck with Rob. I fuck with Rob. I mean, I watch him. I subscribe to him.
At Mecha_Toon says, I need a scene with Hulk and Spider-Man talking like that comic panel that revealed that Hulk remembered him. The only reason people know that comic panel is because people kept bringing it up after they announced that Hulk was going to be in this movie. They're like, oh my god, this scene is totally going to happen. And I've said this before, doesn't really make much sense because Hulk and Spider-Man never fucking interacted. So how the fuck would Hulk even remember Peter Parker? I guess like they could have like a flashback at the beginning of the movie. That'll feel kind of like shoved in there, you know? At Dog with Sunglasses 332 says, at some point I want there to be a scene of Spider-Man having a bunch of flashbacks of horrible stuff that happened to him. Maybe a dream sequence where Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin appears. Not really a full story, but just a scene I would like to see. This wouldn't be so bad. If this happened, I'd be like, wow, this Spider-Man is still very traumatized. But I don't know if they would want people to think about Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin in this movie unless he has like an actual link. If Oscorp appears or something, otherwise I feel like it's a hindrance to the audience's attention span because they would assume that Green Goblin's gonna appear.
I wonder if Oscorp is ever gonna appear in the MCU. I'm pretty sure it would after Secret Wars. Or if they're saving Oscorp, whatever, to be a thing in the Marvel Universe after Secret Wars, I would have loved to see how they would have done Oscorp in the MCU that's now. I'm trying to say, even after Endgame, I would. I'm like, remember, I'm saying if they're saving that for after Secret Wars and for the soft reboot for that universe, dope. I would love to see what Oscorp, what role Oscorp would have played in the MCU.
Harry Osborn's gonna appear or something. At BMX74DJ says a Big Wheel cameo.
Dude, that'd be crazy.
At Aaron Armbruss7281 says two things. One, full Scorpion outfit and character. Two, show him interacting with New Yorkers and the city like in the beginning of Homecoming. By him, I assume you mean Spider-Man and not Scorpion interacting with New Yorkers. Yes, full Scorpion outfit. I've seen rumors that they're gonna take inspiration from the Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man look. That look was alright. I hope they get the Scorpion look right and commit to the tail and everything and make him look really badass. I don't know how that Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man version would.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that. The only opinion I would have if they do the Scorpion outfit like this, you see his chest plate, this armor right here. They could go down just a little bit more and give him some leg armor, like up to at least like his shin or whatever. I'm trying to say, so he won't look so human. I guess the Scorpion is a human. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, oh, and give him like kind of like, I don't know. Just cover him up just a little bit more. Cover him up just a little bit more.
Translate to live action, to be honest. And Spider-Man interacting with New Yorkers, yeah, definitely. I think people have been wanting that for a while. At Aman.s07 says, serious answer, ... A running gag throughout the movie of Yelena trying to recruit Peter, but he keeps on ignoring her. Kinda like the Nick Fury joke in Far From Home. The post-credit scene can be her, again trying to get back to Peter when the incursions happen, and he says he actually won't mind tagging along or something like that. Cause I could be more fun to see Peter with New Avengers than
Who wrote this?
Avengers, I know they were all mixed like in the first half still. I think I got like half of that. I think lots of us just want a Spider-Man movie separated from the rest of the MCU shenanigans, you know, and that includes the Avengers stuff.
Why?
Or maybe I'm just speaking for myself.
Yeah, why? Unless he means like it's within MCU. Obviously, he's not saying like this. Well, I don't know what he means, but I think he means like a Spider-Man movie that has literally nothing to do with anything, basically from the MCU. Like this Sony Spider-Man characters, like it's in the MCU world, but isn't. You know what I'm trying to say? Like those characters don't show up. They're just mentioned. That's what he means. Okay, I see where it's coming from. Then I see what he means.
I do really like the Yelena character, but to have her consistently have a presence through these phone calls throughout the movie, I'd be like, come on, let's let Peter have like his own full movie. You know what I mean?
All right, yeah, I think that's what he meant. Yeah. So yeah, I think I agree with him. Like, all right, dude, because Spider-Man: Homecoming, it was Iron Man. Spider-Man: Far From Home, it was Nick Fury and Happy, and then Spider-Man: No Way Home is Doctor Strange. You know what I'm trying to say, and you could say Happy too. Um, it had MCU characters helping him in some way or involved in some way. So yeah, it would be dope to see a MCU movie, a Spider-Man MCU movie that hasn't had nobody. I'm trying to say, because before Civil War, that's what we wanted. That's what we dreamed of, having Spider-Man interact with Iron Man, and, you know, the rest of the Avengers or the MCU in general. But we got that. They did it, and we got that a lot of times. I'm trying to say, so cool. Let's do something. Let's go back to the basics now. I'm trying to say. And mind you, Back to the Basics now is like 10 years later. So what they could do now for the stories, crazy.
I mean, we're already distributing time to Punisher
There's
and
like
Hulk.
CG and shit like that.
Like, leave him alone. And also, like, why would Yelena even want Spider-Man? Bhaskar Vemulapalli. I honestly don't know where your first name starts and where your surname begins, so sorry about that. 6586 says, Peter getting a job in the movie, but then he gets fired and replaced with an AI. Also, it would be funny if there was a montage where Peter keeps getting jobs and gets fired from all of them and replaced with AI. They're not gonna do this. That would be very insensitive to people who are losing their jobs to AI. There will be a certain amount of backlash to this scene. Pragyani Gorov says, one thing I would want to see, and maybe it will grab Andy's attention too, is that I want to see a scene when Punisher holds a fainted Spider-Man in his hands while explosion happen in the background, or maybe something chases them. That would be pure aura farming moment.
Alright.
Why'd you have to pick me out? Why do you think that will grab my attention? I don't. The fuck? So Punisher holding Spider-Man with explosions in the background. Who's aura farming here? Is it Punisher holding Spider-Man's limp body, or is it Spider-Man near unconsciousness? How is that a pure aura farming moment? Also, I cannot believe that you said explosions happen in the background and you thought that would be really cool, unironically. But yeah, if this happens, I'm gonna laugh. At Matthews_pictures123 says, okay, hear me out on this one, but in the ending of the movie, Scorpion gets the upper hand and kills Spider-Man. Oh my god! And the post-credit scene is the Venom symbiote crawling into this grave and Spider-Man.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say earlier too. Dude, I wouldn't mind. I would not mind if before we get Eddie Brock Venom in our in the MCU pick it, Sony already did that. I would not mind if they do Matt Bargain Scorpion Venom. Dude, that shit is dope. Because in the comics, when Matt Bargain becomes Venom, dude, he is a fucking menace, dude. Like, he was always a menace, but he damn near becomes a piece of shit when he becomes Venom. Like, he wows out when he's Venom. So, dude, I would not be opposed to that. And the actor that's playing Matt Bargain Scorpion, damn, I can't remember his name right now, but he was a bad guy in Far Cry 3 the game. Other shit too, but that's where I remember him right now. Oh, and he was in Breaking Bad. I think Better Call Saul. But yeah, dude, dude, as Venom Scorpion, like fucked up, like he's just fucked up in the head, like no filter or nothing. He doesn't give a fuck about anybody, dude. That actor would kill that shit. And if you want to get a taste of how that character would be, if I was you, I'll not even watch. Fuck that. Play Far Cry 3 the game. He's the main. I think the main of that game. But anyways, he's the guy in the box cover art and everything. So yeah, dude, I would not mind a Venom Scorpion.
Calling out the grave like in Kraven's Final Hunt. Love you vids, by the way. Thank you. Okay, well, first thing I'm gonna say is they're definitely not gonna do this. How are they gonna kill Spider-Man if there's gonna be like 2 massive Avengers movies coming up? Maybe my
Sorry. Another thing that's another like idea just came to my mind right now. I would love it if in Secret Wars or in this movie, whatever, Spider-Man gets the black suit, right? The symbiote suit. Yeah, they do the movie with him having the symbiote, this and the third, right? And it'll be so dope if a movie after that, like they introduce Kraven, and for those who know, when Peter has the black suit in the comics, I'm pretty sure all of you know. When he has his black suit in the comics, he's like I don't know how to explain it. He feels so like confident. He feels so strong. He feels like he could take over the world. I'm trying to say. And Kraven's Last Hunt, if I remember correctly, I could be so wrong. I think Kraven or Spider Man when Kraven kills Spider Man and Kraven's the Last Hunt. The reason why Spider Man puts on the black suit is because it makes him feel strong, like he could take down Kraven and shit like that. So I'm trying to say, but he's also like in a dark mindset, in a dark mind space. That would be a fire movie, dog. Basically, long story short, it would be awesome if after they do a Venom story, do Kraven's the Last Hunt. It'll be perfect. And then Peter can make a black suit because he remembers how powerful that suit made him feel. So with that movie, we see him wear the black suit, even though it's not the symbiote. Still, we still know what that means. I'm trying to say he's like Dark Peter, so Dark Spider Man. Yeah, that'd be fire. My fault. I know I just babbled there. Fuck that up probably, but hopefully I got to the point. Yeah, I understood it. But yeah, that would be fire. After a Venom arc,
take will age really badly, but yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. And also, like, having Spider-Man come back from the dead in a credit scene, that's not gonna fly. And also, I know a lot of comic fans hate this when they take a moment from a comic, for example, coming out of the grave in Kraven's Final Hunt, or Last Hunt. I don't think it's called Final Hunt. That moment, but just completely recontextualizing it. A lot of people hate that, so I tread lightly for this idea. Also, you can't just like kill a hero and then just bring him back. That kind of nullifies the stakes. At the Hannah Carr says, admittedly, I hope MJ and Ned are just mere cameos and Peter doesn't reconnect with them. I love the dynamic, especially No Way Home, but I just really
I kind of agree with that. I would not be opposed to no MJ and no Ned in this in Brandon Day. I would not mind him without them. No, let him meet Harry, let him meet Black Cat, let him meet Gwen. You know what I'm trying to say? And then they could loop back around. I'm trying to say MJ and Ned, save it for the movie after that.
want that less.
So yeah, I want at least 2 movies with like different friends, a different friend group, and then go back to MJ and Ned.
About responsibility to be ingrained in them and stick to that choice. I agree. I don't think MJ and Ned really have to have a big role in this movie. They'll probably reconnect by the end because, you know, people really love Zendaya and people really like the Ned character as well. But yeah, at least for like most of like this movie, come on, like we don't have to bring them back this soon. At WHC _Sue-Ho says Spider-Man working at the Daily Bugle. Yeah, I know the Daily Bugle is very different in the MCU. Yeah. It's very crazy. It's very conspiracy.
Yep. I know I keep pausing it, but sure, whatever. Fucking yeah. I want to see my boy taking pictures, working at the fucking Daily Bugle and all that shit. Feel me? I want Jay Jonah. Excuse me. Sorry. I want Jay Jonah spazzing out. I want scenes like that. I miss J. Jonah Jameson. I miss him wigging out on niggas.
Based and it's not like the Daily Bugle we know from the comics, but I think that'll make it funnier and that'll make it more interesting because Spider-Man has to sell these pictures of Spider-Man to this crazy news outlet that kind of destroys his reputation. So yeah, and also Spider-Man, Peter Parker working at Daily Bugle, come on, like How have we not seen it in the MCU
Yeah.
yet? At Mr. Cubicar7349 says, I want a post-credit scene of Norman looking over the fight happening from a tall skyscraper, then calling someone and saying release him. And fully green-colored Harry comes out of a tube. Wow, you fucking cooked with this one. First.
Wait, what? I'm not gonna lie, I spaced out. What?
At Mr. Cubicar7349 says, I want a post-credit scene of Norman looking over the fight happening from a tall skyscraper, then calling someone and saying release him. And fully green-colored Harry comes out of a tube. Wow, you fucking cooked with this one. First of all, they're not going to be doing the Osborns in this movie, and if they do, hopefully they get it right, but definitely no green-colored Harry's coming out of a tube. What? Oh wait, wasn't Steve Harrington's actor, what's his name? Joe Keery. Yeah, he was rumored to play Harry, right? Maybe he does come out of a tube. Who knows? At TBNZT says, like the rooftop scene in Daredevil, something like an important conversation about motivations and morals, or something deep like that between Peter and Frank. Though my only concern about that is that it will probably be like a retread of that exact scene that you're referring to in Daredevil, and it'll probably be worse. But I think a better alternative route, in my opinion, would be this one comic page I saw online. Yeah, I know, I'm gonna be one of those people, where Punisher punches Spider-Man in the face twice. Spider-Man's just like, it's gonna take more than that, and like he's just completely unfazed. And I think that would be a great way to show someone like Frank, who's so used to being this vehicle of power.
Frank gonna be like, oh shit, this nigga bought it. Huh?
And just rampaging through gangsters and shit. Spider-Man,
Punisher gonna deck his ass like a couple of times, and he gonna think that's able to drop his ass. Nah, nigga, that's Spider-Man, dog. People be underestimating my boy Spider-Man, bro. Peter Parker. People be underestimating him in the comics, my nigga. Like, of course he's famous, obviously. But I'm talking about like his strength. You be forgetting, like, dude, he can't, like, even Captain America. At one point, he was trying to get Peter Parker's attention in a comic book, and Peter wasn't having it. And when Captain America grabbed his ass, yo, Peter grabbed Captain America, flung his ass. I think broke, no, not break his shield, broke something like his arm or some shit. And Captain America was like, "I'm sorry, son. I underestimated you," or some shit like that. Dude, telling you. So that would be fired. Frank swear he got it on. He got it up on Pete on Spider Man. Nah, my boy, you got the wrong one, nigga.
and these other metahumans, they're on a different fucking level, and Frank's about to get owned. At Alex Brick-B7Q says Spider-Man should swap bodies with the Hulk after the Hulk has terrorized the city. No idea how. Because of that, the Punisher and the...
And if you think I'm lying, search it up. Search up that comic book panel. Search up Captain America apologizing to Peter for a fight or some shit like that. But search it up. Captain America, some shit with Peter. You watch. I'm not lying.
The government would actually be hunting and trying to kill the Hulk, who's really Spider-Man inside. That way, Spider-Man and the Hulk would end up understanding each other better. Wow, people would hate this. Imagine waiting this long for a Spider-Man movie without any Stark tech, and the whole movie, or at least like a good portion of it, is Bruce Banner and Spider-Man's body, and Spider-Man and Hulk's body. That's a risk that I don't think Marvel is willing to take. Yeah, this body swap thing, I don't think it can last the full movie, and I don't think Marvel Studios will be willing to risk an entire Spider-Man movie, which is one of the biggest box office draws and the money makers. Yeah, as this body swap movie, unlikely. At Gabriel Sato 2620 says, I would love a scene where in the third act of...
If you're gonna do a body swap movie with Spider-Man, do like a short on Disney Plus where it's Spider-Man and Wolverine. Because once again, there's precedents for that in the comic books. If it's happened.
The movie, Doctor Strange opens a portal and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man shows up. And then a second portal opens up and it's Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Are we talking about Brand New Day or No Way Home? I feel like this comment was transported from 2020. At Eshan Faisal 3930 says, Peter saying you have failed the city. CW reference.
Really?
If they had an Arrow reference in a Spider-Man movie, I'm gonna fucking cackle. I will be so confused, but I will also find it really hilarious. If Spider-Man goes up to Scorpion and says, "You have failed this city," my mind will be blown. That is the closest we'll get to a Marvel and DC cross.
I wouldn't, but now I will. Only because he brought it up in this video. So if, cause I doubt they would do that. They're not gonna do that. But if for some fucking reason they do, nigga, I'm gonna laugh.
Crossover in film, probably for like the next 10 to 15 years. At this point, I can't tell whether these comments are jokes or not. At Abe Ogden or AB Ogden 9449 says, end the film with Peter meeting his clone. Yeah, great segue into Avengers Doomsday. I was gonna say there was no chance of doing the Clone Saga, but they did do the other one that everyone really hated where Peter and MJ nulled their marriage. Like, they basically did that story. So you know what?
For my comic people, which one do you hate more? Wolverine Day or the Clone Saga? Let me know.
I wouldn't be surprised if they end up doing the Clone Saga. I don't think they're gonna do it in this movie. This movie seems a bit jam-packed, but I don't think they're gonna be ending the film with Peter meeting his clone, unfortunately, as much as you would like that to happen. At Arsenal Plays 825 says, considering the Shang-Chi director is directing this.
Listen, my choice would be I'm gonna keep it a beam. I haven't read all of the Clone Saga, but I read some of it. I'm gonna have to say probably One More Day, only because at least the Clone Saga still has some characters, I think, right, that are still around from that storyline. And basically, all One More Day was the retcon, and it wasn't a whole saga. It was literally just like what a mini series. So yeah, I don't think I'll go One More Day being the worst one. But let me know what y'all think.
Daredevil definitely needs to show up. The fight scenes will be top notch. Imagine Spider-Man, Punisher, and Daredevil trying to take down a rampaging Savage Hulk. They're not gonna be able to do jack shit, but okay. After Martin Lee brings out his rage emotion.
I was gonna say fighting who though, because if against the Hulk, it's gonna be cool only for so long. Because if they keep doing it to where the Hulk doesn't kill them or get to them at least once, the fans are gonna be like, "Oh, right, come on, you telling me the Hulk's not gonna get to at least one of them?" Dude. And then also, what the fuck they gonna do in the first place? That's what I'm trying to sell. Like, people think that yeah, they're gonna fight in the movie, like Punisher against the Hulk and Spider-Man against the Hulk, probably at that. But it's not gonna be to try to. It's gonna be to for self-defense and to save the city. I'm trying to say not to knock him out. I mean, not to defeat him. It's gonna be some other shit. I don't know what, but it's gonna be some twist like that. You watch.
Something along the lines of Tombstone.
That may sound obvious as hell, but you know why? Because it is. I'm trying to say so like.
And setting a bounty on Spider-Man's head, so villains like Scorpion, dude, you need to know how to use full stops or periods. Like Scorpion are constantly trying to get the jump on him, making his life a living hell. Could even create the page from Civil War where Punisher saves him carrying his unconscious body.
Oh, I would like that. If he's gonna say he does, well, it's his opinion. But if he say he doesn't, all right, I would love that. At least, come on, come on, come on. One time, that wouldn't be a dope shot.
Page from Civil War where Punisher saves him carrying his unconscious body. Okay, I've seen a few comments saying they want the scene where Punisher carries Spider-Man's, you know, bloody old body. I guess it could happen, like Spider-Man could get really fucked up by Scorpion and Punisher, you know, carries his body and like takes him back to his lair. That sounded really weird. Bringing Daredevil in, Daredevil's not gonna have a prominent role in this, I assume. There's just too many fucking characters. Like, how are you gonna have Daredevil, Punisher, and Hulk? And also the fact that everyone, like, I've seen so many comments about Mr. Negative bringing out the rage in the Hulk. That just tells me that that's exactly what they're not gonna do. Because if that's as predictable as so many fans think, they're just not gonna do it. It's just gonna be better. You know, I know I already addressed this kind of comment, but like, if you like write in a comment, oh, my comment's not gonna be featured, but anyway, here we go. I'm not gonna fucking read your comment, okay? I mean, I'll read it, but I'm not gonna feature it, you know? You fucking pick me little bitches. At Biggs3291 says, a physical Miles Morales MCU debut. Powered or unpowered could be cool to finally see an actor for him. Yeah, I could see them introducing Miles Morales in this movie.
There's so
like
many
a soft
actors
intro, maybe
in my
it's
head
like
that
they'll
I
introduce
could see
his
him,
dad
so
or
I'm down
something
for
in
whatever.
this movie, and possibly the son, which is Miles. It's gonna be very hard to keep the actor under wraps if they end up bringing Miles in. But yeah, I could definitely see them debuting Miles Morales. Unpowered, probably. Okay, I know I said that I really hate long comments, but I think we'll end this video on this fucking massive Bible.
Sounds like a audio sounds.
Okay, I know I said that I really hate long comments, but I think we'll end this video on this fucking massive Bible.
Sounds like a audio sounds. Alright, I'm good.
Passage of a comment by @KingRBReviews. You're lucky. And just by glancing at this, I'm like, wow. There's a lot of characters in this. A prison breakout happens, causing hundreds of prisoners to be let loose out of Rikers. But I think probably. Okay, I know I said that I really hate long comments, but I think we'll end this video on this fucking massive Bible passage of a comment by @KingRBReviews. You're lucky. And just by glancing at this, I'm like, wow. There's a lot of characters in this. A prison breakout happens, causing hundreds of prisoners to be let loose out of Rikers Island. Spider-Man arrives first and tries to stop them, but Scorpion, Tombstone, and Boomerang are in full gear provided by Fisk and are about to defeat Spider-Man until Daredevil rescues him. Wow. Also, Scorpion's just gonna be like full Scorpion in the beginning of the movie. We're not gonna see how he gets his suit or anything. Okay. And Fisk, why do we keep bringing Fisk in there? Fisk is not gonna appear in this movie. This could age like milk. All the inmates return to prison except for Scorpion, Tombstone, and Boomerang. Daredevil then asks Spider-Man to join his team against Fisk, but Spider-Man declines, claiming he doesn't have time for friends or anything like that, and leaves. Damn, Spider-Man's a fucking savage. Peter then finds out he got into MIT and starts classes. Whoa, so he's gonna run into MJ and Ned? That's where they're going, right? Peter walks into a class to find Bruce Banner teaching one of his classes. Bruce doesn't remember Peter, but Hulk does, because Bruce was in human form when the spell happened, so does Smart Hulk. Again, I don't think they've interacted, so I don't know what the logic is there. But again, maybe they'll fucking shove in a flashback, I don't know. Bruce is teaching about gamma radiation and demonstrates by turning into a Smart Hulk form and instantly...
What? Dude, what?
So I don't know what the logic is there, but again, maybe they'll fucking shove in a flashback, I don't know. Bruce is teaching about gamma radiation and demonstrates by turning into a Smart Hulk form and instantly remembers everything about Peter and calls him by his name, which Peter finds confusing because he never told Bruce's name. Okay, sorry, I jumped the gun there. Okay, so after class, Peter talks to Bruce asking him how he knows who he is, and Bruce tells Peter about their history and how Tony spoke about him all the time. Peter tells Bruce about everything that happened, and Bruce explains to him how he might be able to remember. Do we really need to put this much focus on how this works? Like, let's just move on, you know?
Wait, on how what works? On how the Hulk or Bruce Banner still knows Peter? Yeah, I think we need to know how that works. You can't. Oh, it just works. He just knows Peter still for some reason. No, dude, you can't just do that. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, dude?
Then speaks to Martin Lee. Okay, we're not the villain. About being willing to invest in Feast to do an insurance scam. God damn, Fisk is truly evil. Mayor of New York City running an insurance scam? What the hell? As Martin Lee will destroy Feast. All Martin Lee will need is a way to destroy it and keep his nose clean. Martin Lee then comes up with a plan to destroy Feast by using an out-of-control Hulk to do it. Peter meets two people in college, Gwen Stacy and Harry Lyman. He uses his mom's last name to avoid people knowing that he's Norman Osborn's son to avoid publicity. They try to talk to Peter, but he runs off before they can really talk to him. Spider-Man has a good friend named Harry, and his name is Lyman. Oh my god, it couldn't be Harry Osborn. No, it couldn't be. Couldn't be Harry Osborn. His last name is Lyman. Peter returns to his apartment to find Matt Murdock inside. Peter explains that he's tracked Peter down after the fight and got into the window. Jesus, Matt. Matt gives Peter a talk about how it's been where Peter is and he understands what he's going through, but Peter claims he doesn't understand. Matt explains everything Peter's been going through and asks him to join the fight against Fisk, and Peter asks Matt to leave his apartment. Okay, I'm just thinking about Daredevil Born Again. I don't know how this would fit into that story because it seems like that story is a bit self-contained, and to have Matt be in this movie and ask Peter for his help, this feels like it's building up to what will be the climax of Born Again, you know what I mean? And how would Matt explain everything Peter's been going through? What? Is he a fucking mind reader? He shouldn't remember who Peter is. I'm missing most of the second act though, but here's the third act. Okay, sweet. Martin Lee then sets an enraged Savage Hulk loose on the streets of New York via his powers, showing him flashbacks of Nat and Tony to get him angry. And Spider-Man, Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, Daredevil, Punisher, and Shang-Chi and Jessica Jones try to stop him. Jesus, it's a fucking Justice League. Martin sends his demons back to attack another place to split the heroes up. Kate Bishop, Shang-Chi, and Jessica Jones try to stop the demons while Daredevil, Punisher, and Spider-Man try to stop the Hulk. Okay, listen.
Dude, at this point, that doesn't even sound like a movie no more. It sounds like a fucking show. Damn, dude. I mean, dude, whoever wrote that comic, good on you. Like, you really thought it out and you really think about it. But damn, dude. That's not even a movie, that's a show.
Punisher isn't gonna do shit. Get Jessica Jones to try stop the Hulk. She's a fucking super powered being. If anything, like, Punisher would be the most effective against the demons because he could just like mow them down with a minigun or like a fucking AR. Anyways, this random ass inclusion of all these other heroes, I'm like, can we keep this like a bit smaller scale? Isn't that what we've been wanting? Just like a Spider-Man story? After a long battle, they win, and Mr. Negative comes to take on the three heroes. He shows them flashbacks of moments they regret. Daredevil sees Foggy dying. Casual audiences will get so lost in this. Punisher sees his family dying, and Peter sees Tony and Aunt May dying. Listen, most people watching the Spider-Man movie, they're not gonna fucking know who Daredevil is, okay? They're not gonna know like who Punisher is. Oh, I mean, they might know, but like, they're not gonna understand this whole family dying shit. They won't have seen the Netflix season 1 and 2. And even if they did, that was like fucking 8 years ago at this point, I think. They overcome what happened and defeat Mr. Negative. Peter then accepts Daredevil's offer and joins his team. At the end of the movie, Peter finally talks to Gwen and Harry, and in the post-credits scene, we cut to a few months later where Harry's introducing Peter and Gwen to his dad, Norman Osborn, played by Willem Dafoe.
Dude, when does this shit end?
Okay, so we were building to like this climax of Fisk controlling everything and Daredevil recruiting.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. When I was looking over there, I spaced out. I completely spaced out. The moment I came back to reality, dude, I thought he was like saying goodbye. This dude was still talking about the fucking comet. Oh my god, dude.
People to take him down or whatever, and Fisk doesn't even like get beaten. Okay, then they're not gonna have Willem Dafoe back. They're not. They're gonna recast him, and it's probably gonna be after the soft reboot thing or the full reboot or whatever after Secret Wars. Like, I really do want to see the Osborns in the MC, but you can't have Willem Dafoe. The fuck? I just don't really understand like what kind of characters they would be. Norman Osborn, Hyman, who's not played out, ends up big time introducing Gwen and Harry and bringing in fucking Shang-Chi and Daredevil and Jessica Jones to fight Hulk and Mr. Negative, having flashbacks to Daredevil of Foggy dying and what, like, there's too much. At the very most, Tombstone and Boomerang, they're just gonna be like villains that are gonna be taken care of in like the opening montage sequence, you know? They're not gonna be consistently appearing. That's too many characters, and I would rather want that screen time to be dedicated to character development and having a full flushed out story. All right, that's all I have for today.
Oh my god, I'm not gonna hear him sign out. I'm good. Subscribe to him if you want to watch this video without the pauses or me talking shit or just talking in general. Andy M. Lee. But yeah, all right. Let me know what y'all think about these predictions. Let me know what y'all predictions are, and yeah, I can't wait for this movie. This movie is cooking up some heat right now, and I cannot wait for the trailer. So yeah. Oh, and supposedly, what I've been hearing and seeing online, in a month of some change, we're gonna get a Avengers Doomsday trailer, and a lot of people are saying it's not like long, but it's so long that it's not even a teacher trailer. It's gonna be like a damn near trailer trainer. Like, so I'm looking forward to that because that's literally what, like, Avengers Doomsday. That's what, a year and some change away till the movie actually comes out. Dude, I cannot wait. But yeah, talk about that. I cannot wait for Spider-Man. Brand new day, and yeah, let me know what your predictions are if I got any. And yeah, all right. Oh yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, the YouTube shit. All right. Ugh. Deuces.